Hello everyone, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com. I'm back today with the March 2021 dollar bead box and bag subscription. I will leave the link to this down below if you want to find out more about it. I also have a coupon code, it's ORCHID2, and that will save you $2 off any subscription or any purchase on their site. So one of the other perks about this subscription is if you are a subscriber, you'll also have the ability to access their website to shop. And they have all of these products that you're going to see in the box today, as well as a lot more, especially strands of check glass for just $1 each. This box doesn't have a monthly theme per se, it's more of a sampler. Let's go ahead and get into it and see what they sent this month. All right, so on the top, we start with the dollar bead bag, and then we'll get into the contents of the dollar bead box. So this is an $8 a month add-on that's optional if you want, and you get 4 strands of 3mm fire polish beads and 4 strands of 4mm fire polish beads. They don't necessarily coordinate, but it's just a great way to build up your stash for, again, just $1 a strand. So you can see they have everything named that's inside of the bag. Let's go ahead and open it up and take a closer look at these items one at a time. All right, starting out with item number 1, this is the Crystal Light Merrier. Gorgeous metallics and also crystal clear. You can see it has silvers and golds and also even some pops of purple or magenta. Next is our multi-bronze mix, another metallic type, but this is more of a satiny finish and definitely more saturated the way the colors are coated onto the glass. We have different shades of gold and bronze, more of the antique shades of metallic, and also some green and maybe some copper and some reddish and purplish tones mixed in too. Then we have Crystal Copper Bronze. That is this one. This is a great neutral type of strand. It's got a lot of the crystal clear, but then also brushes of that dark bronze metallic on parts of the beads. This is one of those things that could go with a lot of different colors. And then our final 3mm strand in the dollar bead bag this month is beautiful, called Light Rose Gold Luster. I've seen this one before. It's one of my favorite combinations in the check glass. It's kind of a peachy light pink, just a hint of gold and lustery shine when you move it under the light. All right, now let's get into our 4mm strands. First up is the Crystal Light Metallic Rhubarb. Gorgeous. This one has a lot more shades of reds and pinks and a little bit of green. Very kind of tropical looking color combination. Some of the bead is more transparent and then some has more of that brushed opaque metallic. The next one is called Crystal Vintage Gold, and this one definitely seems to be on the brassier side. You can see why they would call that antique vintage gold too. You can see how the coating, it looks a little bit aged. It's got a little bit of extra texture, not just a flat opaque color. Then we have White Alabaster Army Green Luster. So that is this one here. You can see that it has the green in the background with that little bit of brown speckled over the top. Another one that kind of looks a little bit more aged or stone-like. And then it also has an extra luster finish, which is just that kind of extra pearlized shine that you see over the top. Last for our 4mm strands, we have this gorgeous one, Vintage Plum Copper. This is just a really unique combination. I wouldn't have thought that they would put together, but it's very beautiful with the purple that kind of gradually turns into the copper. It's more of a very vintage copper look, much more brown and kind of dull brown than a bright reddish brown. And you can see that you also get some of these more purplish beads in there. They're all a little bit different. So that's the $8 a month add-on, the dollar bead bag, and like you can see on the bottom of the note, you can go back and order any of those strands for just $1, as well as a ton of other check glass strands. They have lots and lots of strands of fire polish in particular. Bringing back the dollar bead box, the main event. This one comes with a little note on the top, and also on the back it's going to list all of our contents. So just on the front this time, they're listing some of their new products. as well as their social media information where you can follow them and also get different updates, also listing their email address if you have any questions. And then on the back, there is the list of everything that is included. Of course, we're going to see our strands that start here at the top, and then our additional items, which are just kind of a sampler of different other things they carry on their site. And then it says we're going to look at some bonus items, which we don't normally see. So we'll start with our strands. First, we're going to look at a strand of check glass druck beads or rounds. These are in the color hyacinth. They are 4 millimeters in size, so just a basic round in a very vibrant bright orange color. Translucent, you can kind of see through those. And you get 48 pieces on this strand. We then have some 3 by 5 millimeter check glass pinch beads in the color Blue Apatite with bronze luster. Here they are, the pinch beads, that classic pinch bead shape in a beautiful aqua blue, and just a slight dusting over the top that gives you a hint of that metallic look that they're talking about, where it says bronze luster that just changes that aqua tone a little bit. And there's 35 pieces on that strand. We then have some check fire polish beads, this time in a 6 millimeter size. And look, these match the 4 millimeters that we took a look at earlier. These are also the vintage plum copper. Very beautiful. These are a little bit more mottled. So instead of large swaths of bronzy beads, or I should say copper, these are much more of a mix where you see the purple and the copper combined on each of these beads. Really nice that we have the 6 millimeters to go with that. Next, we have some more check fire polish, this time in 5 millimeters, and this is called Alabaster White Army Green Luster. This is a beautiful strand of the green that is combined with those hints of brown. And what do you know? That's actually the 5 millimeter version of the 4 millimeter strand that we saw in the dollar bead bag. So another coordinating strand this month. We have yet another 5 millimeter strand, this one called Jet Travertine Green Luster. So this one's a lot more dark looking. It's got that black in the background and then just those hints of green that settle into the different facets of these fire polish beads. Another unique and beautiful combination, and these fire polish beads are very versatile. They can be used for stringing or bead weaving since they're so uniform in their size, so they're good for a lot of different types of uses. Next up, we're going to see some teeny tiny 2 millimeter dyed jade in ruby or fuchsia 14-inch strand. Here we go. So you can see this is quite a long strand of these little tiny beads. You get a lot of them on the strand. It is that combination of the lighter and deeper rosy pink shades. Very beautiful. I wouldn't consider this to be on the red side, although it's kind of a reddish pink. Sometimes we see these strands of gemstones, little teeny tiny ones. Sometimes it seems like they have lots of different versions of this dyed jade in these little tiny rounds. Next, we have the 5 millimeter check glass ribbed rounds in Topaz AB, 42 pieces. Also known as the melon beads. You can see their ribbed shape. You can use these in place of another, say, 5 millimeter round bead. It just gives you another little bit of texture or some kind of interest. And you can see that golden honey kind of topaz color with those hints of AB rainbow coating that flash under the light sometimes as it bounces off. And we end our strand section with the 5 by 6 millimeter check glass twisted rondelles in the color topaz. So another very warm, kind of honey-toned marigold yellow, this time twisted rondelles. So they are a compressed round, and you can see that they have a little bit of that wavy shape the way that they are pressed, which gives them that overall very juicy and glossy appearance. So that's all for the strands in our dollar bead box this month. I always say it's my favorite part, looking at all of the check glass strands. But now let's look at the rest of the contents of the box and see what else is inside. All right, first we're going to look at the 14 millimeter Swarovski large hole star bead. And this is in the color Red Magma. There's one piece inside of this bag. And I believe we got one of these last month in a different color. You can see that it is faceted beautifully. The hole is kind of drilled off center. It kind of goes right through that section there. There's another look at it from the other side. It's a little bit easier to see where that hole is and to check out that color as the light passes through it. We also have a bag containing 7 inches of glass beaded chain. This is in olive green. And you could take these beads off of the chain, of course, or you could turn them into segments of, say, a mask lanyard or glasses lanyard or something else like that, or in, of course, a bracelet or a necklace. And this is just a mix of different shades of green, some Kelly green, some spring green, some lime green, different shapes, and some striations of different colors inside of these check glass beads. Next, we have the check glass Sugar Skull 16 by 20 millimeter white with black wash. And these, I think, are becoming the elephants of 2020 and 2021. We have gotten these in all different color variations, it seems like, over the past few months. And if you've been around the Dollar Bee box for a while, you'll notice that that does happen as they're sending different samples out. You can end up collecting different color variations of similar shapes over time, even if you just get 2 of something 1 month. We then have the check glass table cut Dragonfly opaque green with pink wash, 15 millimeters. So that is this one in this bag. You can see that dragonfly that is etched inside of that bright green. And you can kind of see through that. It's just a little bit translucent. You got the table cut glass, which is nice and flat on either side. And then it really shows off that dragonfly design with the pink wash that settles into it. And then there's a look at the other side. So it is the same and a hole that runs right through the center of the bead. Then we have some 12 millimeter check glass Drux opaque turquoise with silver travertine. 2 pieces of those. So these are larger. And these are another one of those items that we have gotten recently. Last month, I believe we got a selection of these in a different color. Beautiful olive green with that luster coating. You can see on the top a little bit of that tan color that swirls around the outside very gently and subtly. Makes these look a little bit more antique. And nice that you could turn these right into a pair of earrings. Then we have the 18 millimeter check glass ammonite beads, opaque medium red with blue wash, 2 pieces inside of the bag. Another thing that we've seen over time, this time in a red and blue combination. Another pair that you could turn into earrings right from the box if you wanted to. Beautiful opaque, shiny glossy red in the background with that medium blue wash that settles into all those details of these pressed glass beads, and then the hole that runs right through the center. So again, the idea here is that they are showing you different things you can find on their site for just $1 each. If you wanted to go back and make another purchase later on in the month, you could get more of these additional items as well as the strands. And if you don't want to get the subscription box, you can also sign up to be a member. I believe it's $35 for the year, and then you get access to everything on their site to shop as well. All right, but moving on to the next item, we have some Chinese crystal cut rectangles. The color is called Turquoise Rainbow Iris. There's 4 pieces. So that would be these 4 pieces in this bag of these little tiny Chinese crystal rectangles. You can see the little facets on those. And these look like they're in pretty good shape. They're not Swarovski, of course, but they are good looking. The color is a beautiful, pleasing kind of milky turquoise. The holes are drilled pretty well. They look pretty clean, although they're not as precision as something like Swarovski, but that's not what you are anticipating, so that's fine. They are still very usable and a very pretty bead. The final item in this section are the check glass hexagons, 6mm in carnelian opal, 10 pieces inside the bag. So another one of those beads you could use in place of another type of 6mm round. These have just a very gentle hexagon shape where they are six-sided instead of just round. Kind of reminds me of the rounded Lucerna bicones or the check glass bicones, but these have two additional sides. You can see the hole just runs through the center, and the color is kind of a milky reddish brown. And then we have our two bonus items. We have some soft flex beading wire, 0.019, and the color is peridot. There's 10 feet. That's kind of nice. Look at that green. That is very vibrant. Soft Flex is a great brand, and of course they sell some Soft Flex on dollarbeadbox.com, so you can check them out for all different colors and different sizes of bead stringing wire to fit your needs. So that will be nice to have in a different color that I do not currently have in my stash. And finally, we have a check fire polish jumbo mix. There's an ounce of beads in there, so that is going to be, like it says, a jumbo mix. It's going to be just all different things, kind of like a bead soup. Think of different bead soup projects maybe you could make with these or add to your current stash of bead soup. And I'm sure these will all be different depending on what they have available and what needed to go into these mixes, but you can see these are all check glass beads, a lot of them being fire polish or faceted shapes. So I will add those to my bead soup. Alrighty, well that is everything for the March 2021 Dollar Bead Box and Bag. I am so glad you were here to unbox this with me because we can enjoy looking at the contents together. Feel free to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this month's selection, if any ideas are jumping out at you or anything else you'd like to say. Once again, I'll leave the link to the subscription and the coupon code ORCHID2 down below. You can use that off of any subscription or any purchase if you are an existing subscriber. I like to bring you these unboxings to give you a feel for the different types of boxes out there so you can make a decision based on your own beading needs and what speaks to you the most. So I hope this was helpful for you to be able to check this out, and you can of course check out the playlist I have for other Dollar Bead Box unboxings. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. And I'd also love to have you as a subscriber so you can come back as I'm posting new content and be aware of that. I will see you all again real soon. And until next time, happy beading.